Have you ever met someone who changed your life without even knowing it? Not because they said something extraordinary, not because they did something heroic, but simply because they happened to walk into your life at exactly the right moment. For Ethan Parker, that moment arrived on a bright Monday morning during his very first day of college. Ethan stood at the entrance of Westbridge University, staring at the massive campus in front of him. Hundreds of students walked past, carrying backpacks, coffee cups, and enough confidence to make Ethan feel invisible. This was the moment he had imagined for years. A fresh start, new opportunities, new friends. A chance to become the person he always wanted to be. Yet, standing there now, his stomach felt like it was full of rocks. Unlike many of the students around him, Ethan wasn't arriving with a large group of friends. Most of his high school classmates had chosen different colleges. Today, he was completely alone. He adjusted the straps on his backpack and took a deep breath. Just survive the first day, he told himself. Unfortunately, surviving the first day turned out to be more difficult than expected. 5 minutes later, Ethan was already lost. The campus map on his phone somehow made everything more confusing. Every building looked identical. Students walked confidently in every direction, while Ethan wandered around like someone who had accidentally entered a foreign country. As he searched for the business administration building, he turned a corner too quickly and bumped directly into another student. Books fell to the ground, papers scattered everywhere. "Oh no, I'm so sorry." Ethan immediately knelt down to help. The other student laughed softly. "It's okay. I've only dropped these papers 3 times this morning." Ethan looked up. For a moment, everything around him seemed to disappear. Standing in front of him was a girl with long brown hair and a friendly smile. She looked completely calm despite having just collided with a stranger. Together, they gathered the papers. "First day?" she asked. "Is it that obvious?" "A little," she smiled. "I'm Emma." "Ethan. Nice to meet you, Ethan." Before he could think of anything intelligent to say, a group of students called Emma from across the courtyard. "Coming." She turned back toward Ethan. "Good luck finding wherever you're trying to go." Then she walked away. And just like that, she was gone. Ethan stood there holding one of her papers that had accidentally remained in his hand. His heart was beating faster than it should have been. "Great," he muttered. "I've been here 20 minutes and already embarrassed myself." He quickly returned the paper to a nearby information desk and continued searching for his classroom. Eventually, he arrived 10 minutes late. The professor paused mid-sentence. "Nice of you to join us." Several students laughed. Ethan immediately wished the floor would open and swallow him whole. The professor pointed toward an empty seat in the middle of the room. Of course, not the back row, not the side, the middle, the most visible seat possible. Ethan sat down and tried not to make eye contact with anyone. The lecture continued. For the next hour, students introduced themselves, one by one. Some already seemed incredibly confident. One student talked about launching his own online business. Another had traveled to 15 countries. Someone else had already completed 2 internships. When it was Ethan's turn, he stood up. "Hi, I'm Ethan. I like technology, business, and, that's pretty much it." He sat down immediately. The room remained silent. "Excellent introduction," he whispered to himself. After class ended, Ethan headed toward the cafeteria. The lunch area was packed. Groups had already started forming. People laughed together like they had known each other for years. Ethan carried his tray around, searching for an empty table. Every seat seemed occupied. Finally, he spotted one available chair. As he approached, he noticed someone sitting across from it. It was Emma. For a split second, he considered turning around. Instead, he gathered every ounce of courage he possessed. "Is this seat taken?" Emma looked up and smiled. "Nope." Ethan sat down. For the next few minutes, the conversation was awkward. Painfully awkward. They discussed classes, professors, dorm life, coffee, weather, every topic imaginable except anything interesting. Yet, somehow neither of them got up to leave. Slowly, the conversation became easier. Emma explained that she hoped to attend medical school one day. Ethan shared his dream of starting a company. For the first time all day, he felt comfortable. Maybe college wasn't going to be so bad after all. Suddenly, another student dropped into the chair beside Ethan. Please tell me I'm not interrupting anything. The newcomer grinned. He had messy hair and enough energy for 5 people. I'm Jake. Without waiting for permission, he sat down. Within minutes, he was telling stories about getting lost 3 separate times that morning and accidentally entering the wrong classroom. Emma laughed. Ethan laughed. For the first time since arriving on campus, Ethan felt like he belonged somewhere. The 3 of them spent nearly an hour talking. Eventually, classes resumed, and everyone headed in different directions. As the day continued, Ethan found himself replaying the conversation in his mind, not because of anything extraordinary that happened, but because something felt different. College no longer seemed so intimidating. For the first time all day, he wasn't alone. That evening, Ethan returned to his dorm room exhausted. His roommate hadn't arrived yet. The room was silent. He unpacked his books and sat by the window overlooking the campus. Students crossed the sidewalks below. Lights illuminated the buildings. Somewhere out there were thousands of stories beginning at the exact same moment. Friendships, dreams, failures, successes, and maybe even something more. His phone suddenly vibrated. A notification appeared. Westbridge University Business Department. Group project assignments available. Ethan opened the list. His eyes scanned the names. Then he froze us. Group Sept. Ethan Parker, Emma Reynolds, Sophia Carter, and 2 other students. Ethan stared at the screen. Out of hundreds of students on campus, he had somehow ended up on the same project team as Emma. He couldn't help smiling. But across campus, in another dorm room, Emma was looking at the exact same group assignment list. And she was smiling too. The first day of college was over, but neither of them knew that this simple group project was about to change everything.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, share, and comment, and join us next time to find out what happens next.